This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm trapped in a movie theater, and I've seen the crime drama Scarface. Specifically, the 1932 film directed by Howard Hawks, which follows a gangster named Tony, but is hardly the same as the 80s film, which I've never actually seen. Anyways, Tony is a small time gangster with bigger ambitions, and after the murder of his boss, he and a new crew take up leadership. As their power increases, Tony's ambition only grows and his patience decreases, much to the chagrin of those around him. As Tony begins taking matters into his own hands, he ends up alienating his family and makes enemies out of friends, all of which only adds up into the downfall of those around him and himself. Naturally, being the title character, Tony is the most powerful presence in the film, rarely, if ever, relenting control of any situation, while being able to keep a collected composure when under heat. It shows a confidence in his skills and wit that can't be matched, though it's also marked by a reckless impulse that threatens the entire balance of the gangland. His impulsive nature becomes his fatal flaw, as it becomes apparent that when he finds himself in a situation he can't directly control, he has nothing to answer with but violence. Paul Mooney, who portrays Tony, does all of this with a great amount of power and intimidation, falling into the role completely and without any hesitance. All his energy is put to use, and it exudes from the screen. It's an excellent character study and an amazing performance wrapped around what might otherwise be a rather simplistic or by-the-numbers gangster story. Of course, given its release in the 30s, the formula would be considerably new, so it's more that Scarface became an influence on later gangster films both then and now. And looking back to this film, you can see how it has the basic elements that became standards in the future. It's actually kind of funny how this film would push the gangster into the realm of the anti-hero, given its purpose as a cautionary tale about the rise of gangs during Prohibition, and a call to action to have them stopped. There's a good number of scenes dedicated to warning of the dangers and effects of the criminal rings, but of course they aren't given much treatment, likely because of the hypocrisy involved in suggesting an end to the glamorization of gang life in a film that does exactly that. While the movie is influential, it's not completely perfect. Other than Tony himself, the rest of the cast suffers a bit from being rather one-note, serving more as side characters to Tony's story than anything more truly fleshed out. It's a flaw that adds to the idea of Scarface as a cautionary tale, but otherwise the movie has more in its favor than against it. There are many lighting and cinematography choices throughout the film that add to the darkness of the film's setting and the tension of events, almost in a proto-noir sense. Overall, Scarface is a powerful film for various reasons, and it's made its mark in the crime genre, even if it wasn't meant to be that way. Scarface. Howard Hawks, 1932. 4 stars. I recommend seeing it. And that's the end of the review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want, leave a comment. Subscribe if you want to see more reviews like this one. Oh, and don't go into this movie expecting it to be like the 80s movie. I don't think Miami even existed in the 1930s.